Hello and welcome to my blog. My name is Heaven and today we are going to be headed to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party with our 3-year-old toddlers. We're hoping to have a lot of fun and take you guys along with us and show you guys what that looks like. Hopefully you guys can have some fun too, or if you're planning a trip to Disney World, Magic Kingdom, or planning to go to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party or one of the future Halloween parties, maybe these guys can give you some insight on what it looks like, some of the things we can do, and how much fun it could possibly be. I'm also going to be sharing some of my tips that will be helpful when going to the Disney parks with a toddler. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get dressed and then we're going to head on over to the Halloween party. Once you arrive to Magic Kingdom, you park and then you head over to the transportation center. From there you can grab a donut and a coffee from Joffrey's Coffee Shop, which I highly recommend, and then you choose to either ride the ferry boat or the monorail over to the park entrance. We always choose the ferry boat because it has this beautiful and relaxing scenery that we get to enjoy every time. We made it through the gates and into the parks between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, and as you can see, guests were already starting to leave the park. The park closed at 6 p.m. for those who did not have a Halloween ticket, and we didn't waste any time going over to the castle just to get a look at the Halloween decorations. Since the Halloween party didn't begin until 7 o'clock, we couldn't begin trick-or-treating. So instead, we headed over to one of Noah's favorite rides at Magic Kingdom, and that is Goofy's Barnstormer. He loves this ride, and you have to be 38 inches or taller to ride this one, so it is toddler friendly. But as you can see, Noah was still holding on for dear life, and CJ was holding on to Noah for dear life, but nevertheless, he still had a great time. Right next to Goofy's Barnstormer is the Dumbo Flying Elephant ride, and that's another one of Noah's favorites. So we headed on over there, but first we went over to this little area that has like a perfect photo opportunity for you to get a picture of your little ones inside of the Dumbo ride. So we did take advantage of that opportunity, got a few pictures of Noah before getting onto the ride. This ride is a perfect way to get an overlook of Tomorrowland inside of Magic Kingdom if you get up high enough. But to be honest, I am afraid of heights. So I kind of get up there, but not too high up there. At this point, the Halloween party has officially started, so we didn't waste any time taking Noah over to one of the trick-or-treat stands. So that was pretty exciting. Happy Halloween! Right next to the candy stand was the Little Mermaids ride, which we have never done before. So we headed on over and got on that ride. And of course, it wouldn't be a Halloween celebration without a Disney villain, Ursula. That ride was a lot of fun, but now it's time for us to get more candy, so we did that and then headed over to the Hocus Pocus show. That was probably one of my top favorite things at the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And then we went ahead and also took a carousel break, which Noah always loves. Okay, I know I said that the Hocus Pocus show was one of my top favorites, but I don't think it has this Halloween parade beat. So, of course, next we went ahead and headed over to the Boo to You Halloween parade. If going to the parades, the shows, or the fireworks are most important to you, then you definitely want to grab your favorite snacks and treats and get a spot for this early so that you can see all of the fun up close and personal.
Hope you're having a good time.
Those Disney villains. I absolutely cannot get enough of this parade. I believe they actually show this parade twice during the party, maybe even 3 times, and we definitely watched it like 1.5 times. But now for the grand finale, and that is the fireworks show. So this is not the same fireworks that they show on a normal park day during normal park day hours, but this is actually a Halloween spectacular, and it also featured Jack Skellington, which was a huge plus and bonus. It was a lot of fun.
For I, Jack Skellington, have a tale to tell. Yes, Halloween is a night filled with surprises. Playful tricks, playful treats. Well, anything can happen on Halloween, as some friends found out on a night much like this one. Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, Zero! Here, boy! Zero! Where is that dog?
Normally after the fireworks the park closes, but that's not the case for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and other after-hour events. So once the fireworks are done, you still have a chance to explore the rest of the parks and get on a few different rides and attractions. So as much as we love the parades, fireworks, and shows, we also enjoy everything else as well. We rode a few things like Splash Mountain, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Haunted Mansion, got a few snacks and treats, and pretty much just mostly enjoyed our time together. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party was truly a lot of fun for my family, and one question that we often get when we're planning these trips to Disney World and going to the different types of parties is it worth the price tag? And for anyone who is asking me that, my personal opinion and answer is yes, absolutely. And the reason for this is because you experience shorter wait times, less crowd inside of the parks. You can pretty much do a lot more, even though the timing is a lot shorter. It's less stress, the weather is more optimal and ideal, and they offer some special experiences that you won't typically see on a normal park day, such as exclusive meet and greets, free snacks and treats, ride overlays with live actors, extra parades and shows, extra fireworks, just things that you won't normally or typically see on a regular park day. In our experience, Disney parks always have something new and something extra whenever we go, but we kind of can know what to expect, what rides they have, what meet and greets they have, what the fireworks and the parades are going to kind of look like. But when you go to the holiday parties like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or the Very Merry Christmas Party, they have other type of meet and greets that they don't have on a a regular park day. Like for instance, you were able to meet Jack and Sally at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and you will not be able to meet them on a regular park day. At the Christmas parties, you get free snacks and treats and ice cream bars and popcorn and hot cocoa during the entire Christmas party. And then for the Halloween party, you also get free treats and candy and things like that. So do I think it's worth the price tag? In my experience, it is. You still get to arrive a little bit earlier than when the party actually begins. And then a couple of hours after being there, most of the guests leave the park. And the way they sell the tickets is so that there isn't an over capacity of people in the park. So they only have a certain amount of tickets available on each party date so that you don't have to worry about it being too crowded or overcrowded. So I think it is worth the price tag, and would I go again? Absolutely. But here are my takeaways on how to really enjoy Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party with your little ones. My first tip or takeaway would be to decide what's most important to you when going to the party. Snacks, treats, rides, experiences, meet and greets, parades, fireworks, merchandise, whatever is most important to you going into this party, focus on those experiences for you and your family to enjoy first. And then once that's completed, you can then decide if you want to do more or head back to the hotel to get some rest. Your little ones have gotten sleepy or cranky or so forth. But making sure that you know what's most important to you, you won't feel like you have to get into the parks and scramble to try and figure out what to do and what not to do. You already have an idea of what you want to do when you get there, so that you can also plan ahead and kind of get like a loose schedule of what you plan to do when you get to the party. Because when you go, there is a lot to do and a lot to see. It can either be overwhelming, or you'll be all over the place, or you're kind of just gonna go with the flow, and that's perfectly fine too. If you're a go with the flow person, which I normally am, except for when I go to Disney World, then either way, you're gonna be okay. But if you're one of those people who are a stickler for schedule and you wanna know how everything is gonna go and you wanna plan everything out, definitely know what's most important for you before you get there. Otherwise, it's not going to be a great time for you if you are one of those people who are a stickler for sticking to timings and schedules, because you're going to want to have everything planned out. My second takeaway or tip is that if your little ones have food allergies, opt in for the allergy-friendly treats. This way, your little ones will not be disappointed and you won't have to worry about them getting sick. They do have allergy-friendly candies so that you don't have to go and trick-or-treat at the stands that have like the regular types of candy, which in our experience was mostly like chocolate, like Snickers, Milky Ways, Starburst, Skittles, things like that. So if your children has any allergies to those that I just named, or just any type of food allergies, then it's best and safe to make sure that they don't miss out on the experience or be disappointed when you have to take away those treats for them by just going to the allergy-friendly stations and collecting their treats and candy from there instead. This next one I can truly resonate with, and that is if the fireworks and the parades are most important to you or very important to you, then grab your favorite treats or snacks and get a spot early. And when I say early, I mean anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour before it starts. That is if you want to have a good spot, and that's one of the top things that you're going for. I always enjoy the fireworks and the parades. To me, it's like the most important experience at the parties, aside from the free snacks and treats, of course. For Noah, I think that experience of going trick-or-treating for the first time inside of the Disney park was one that I really wanted him to experience, and that I really wanted to be able to experience with him, CJ, and I as a family, because Noah has never been trick-or-treating before, and we thought that Disney World would be the perfect place to do so. We don't typically do it here at home. We don't typically like go house to house. We normally celebrate inside, making it more of a way to celebrate like the fall season and the harvest, and thank God for like the food and the harvest and the season and things like that. Having him enjoy that experience at Disney World with all of his favorite characters and to be able to dress up as like a Mickey pumpkin, I think that he enjoyed that a lot. And so that was really important to us. And for me, it was probably also like the parade and the fireworks, and then for CJ, it was probably the ride. So we pretty much was like everything is important for us, and you'll run into that, you know, as a family or traveling in a group. But what CJ and I did when we were at the party is that I went and got us a spot for the parade while he went and grabbed our treats and our snacks, and he came back and joined me. Now this can be difficult, like if it's a huge crowd and you're trying to like find your group. But again, at the Halloween party or even a Christmas party, the crowds are so low that you might not even have to fight for a spot, you know, for a spot to see. You can typically see wherever you stand because the crowd, in our experience, was pretty low. Although we did go like right after the Hurricane Ian. But even when we did the Christmas party, it was the same thing. You weren't like stuck to each other like glue. The crowd wasn't crazy, and pretty much wherever we stood, we had a pretty good sight of where to see like the fireworks. The parade was a different story. So again, if that's important to you, definitely get a spot to see the parade early. And especially if you have little ones who aren't going to be able to see from the back, and that's something that's important for them to be able to see and interact with all of the characters. But yes, that is something that I absolutely always love. I love those parades. I love the fireworks. It's always so much fun, and so I like to get a good spot. I don't want to make the experience bad from not being able to see or from being overcrowded with people, like, you know, crowding and smushing us in, or having to lift Noah up on our shoulders, and now our shoulders, our neck, and our back is hurting afterwards. So if you're anything like me, then definitely, you know, get your favorite treats and your favorite snacks. Get some ice cream or some churros or whatever you like, and have a seat and rest. Do whatever you want to do before that, you know, get all of those things out that's going to make you exhausted, so then you even have a reason to want to sit down and just enjoy a snack for a minute. My next takeaway is I recommend eating before you go to the party. So Christmas party, Halloween party, after events parties, anything like that, I recommend you eat before you go. Some people prefer to eat when they get there. Like some people will go when they open up to like the party guests, which is probably typically around 5 o'clock. For the Halloween party, it didn't start until 7, but you could get there as early as 5 o'clock. And so some people would get there at 5 o'clock, and while the crowds are still heavy, they would have dinner inside of the parks, and then at 7 o'clock they will go and enjoy like all of the, you know, Halloween things. In our experience, that is not what we did. We ate before we went, because sometimes those little ones, depending on when their bedtime is, they're gonna want to go to sleep, they're gonna get exhausted, and so when you head back to your room, you know, obviously it's gonna be too late for you to try and have dinner, and then trying to find dinner in the parks, you might miss out on some of the experiences that you want to do. It may be just a little bit too late. So I just recommend that it's best to just do so before you go into the parks. That way you have more time to do more things, and that's just one less thing for you to stress and worry about, less money for you to spend when you're there, and you can focus on doing all of the things that you would rather be doing. My next takeaway is for the little ones who have like a bedtime, the ones that kind of get cranky at the same time every day if they aren't in bed. If your little one is used to going to sleep at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and the party doesn't start until 7, I highly recommend that you eat dinner and then you head there, you know, at whatever time they allow you in. For the Halloween party, it was 5 o'clock. And then get those important things out of the way before then. For instance, do the parade or the shows or the rides that you want to do, the meet and greets. Do all of that before that time that you know that your little one's going to get tired, and then once your little one is tired, you can focus on doing more of like the sit down rides, you know, like the indoor experiences like Pirates of the Caribbean, or just going to like some of the shows, things like that, where if your little one does fall asleep, then they won't miss out on anything. And if they get a little cranky to where you have to leave the park, then you won't miss out on anything either. Some people will not do these parties because of the simple fact that their children are going to sleep for most of the time, being if the party isn't over until midnight and their little one is going to sleep at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, then they'll feel like they're wasting their time and money. And then for others, it's okay, because then you can do certain things, like for instance, rider swap. If it's just you, one other person, and your child, then rider swap is optimal when those little ones are asleep, because then you don't have to worry about one person taking care of the little ones while the other person is going on the ride. You can kind of just, you know, focus on those things that are more tailored to the adults, the things that the little ones kind of can't get on. But I completely understand those who just would rather not go at all, because I mean, me too. If I know my little one's gonna be cranky and sleepy at 9 o'clock, I probably wouldn't go to the Halloween party either, because I don't want it to not be a great time for them, and I don't want it to not be a great time for me. But in our experience, our little one's bedtime is kind of flexible. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not a stickler for schedules. My little one, he gets his 8 to 12 hours of sleep every night. It's typically 10 to 12 hours actually, and then he'll still throw in an extra 2-hour nap. And so just depending on what time he goes to sleep and what time he gets in the morning, we can kind of be a little bit flexible with our schedule, and that's completely fine with me. By the end of the night, Noah was definitely exhausted and he was tired and he was passed out. But the time that he did enjoy, he really did enjoy it. And when we got back to the room, we were able to quickly wash him up and put him in the bed, and he slept for, you know, 10 hours because we didn't have anything planned the next morning. So make it make sense for your family and your situation. My next tip or takeaway is to make sure that you choose comfortable costumes. There are so many adorable and cute costumes for the little ones, and even for the adults too. Adults dress up as well, but just check the weather in advance and make sure that you have rain gear and comfortable footwear no matter what. You can even wear a comfortable Disney themed outfit such as shorts, jogger, and a t-shirt or something similar to that for maximum comfort. Or there are some comfortable costumes. You just have to find one that is Florida weather friendly, and I think that it'll, you know, just make you enjoy the time being there more. But nobody wants to be uncomfortable 5 to 8 hours. Nobody wants to do that. You don't want to be trying to get on the rides and you can't because of whatever costume you're wearing. You don't want your little ones cranky because they're hot and they're uncomfortable. So try to find like a costume that's very comfortable, one that you're not going to be too hot in or even too cold in. And most importantly, just have fun, because that is what you're there for. Don't stress too much over the planning and whatnot. While it is very helpful to have a plan and plan in advance, you don't want to be too strict, because there are things that you may not even be aware of until you get there in the parks, and you don't want to miss out on those possibilities by focusing too much on the schedule that you created. Leave a little bit of time in your schedule to be flexible, to venture off from your schedule and do something that you didn't know they were going to have, and enjoy something that you didn't know you would be able to enjoy, or to just have a little bit of time for like things that might pop up that you weren't aware of, like rest breaks or food and snack breaks that you didn't know that they were going to have, and then you saw something or you smelled something and now you want it, or character meet and greets and just things like that. Make sure that you're a bit flexible in your schedule so that you can kind of just have fun. The most important thing is to just enjoy your family and make memorable moments together. So those are my top takeaways. Would I do it again? Absolutely, time and time again. I hope this video was able to provide you with some inspiration and enjoyment for the holiday season and any future Disney trips that you're planning. If so, please give it a thumbs up for the sake of channel growth and visibility, and so that I can know what type of content to continue making. If you'd like to be friends and stick around on my channel, I invite you to subscribe for more content. I post twice weekly, and I'd love to have you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, please leave them below in the comments box and I'll be sure to respond. But for now, that's all for today, and thanks for watching. Until next time.